Welcome to Startup Anecdotes, where today we delve into Module 11, focusing on valuation under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, IBC. Discover how valuers play a crucial role in corporate insolvency proceedings. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to keep mastering the registered valuer syllabus. In this module, we cover the basics of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, IBC 2016, the valuer's role in the corporate insolvency resolution process, CIRP, and the distinction between fair value and liquidation value. We'll also explore the IBBI valuation requirements, appointment duties, challenges, and reporting ethics with case examples. Section 1 introduces the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, IBC, as India's unified framework for resolving insolvency. We explore the corporate insolvency resolution process, CIRP, and identify key stakeholders, including resolution professionals, committees of creditors, and registered valuers. India's bankruptcy law framework provides a unified approach for insolvency resolution, applicable to individuals, firms, LLPs, and companies. Managed by the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India, IBBI, the code emphasizes a time-bound resolution process, with a maximum of 330 days to prevent prolonged proceedings. The life cycle of corporate distress resolution begins with the filing of an insolvency petition, followed by the appointment of an interim resolution professional, IRP, or resolution professional, RP. A moratorium and public announcement pause legal proceedings, while registered valuers assess the distressed company. Resolution plans are submitted, and approval is granted by the National Company Law Tribunal, NCLT. Section 2 focuses on the role of the valuer, who derives their mandate from IBC regulations. Valuers are responsible for assessing fair and liquidation values and have reporting obligations to provide detailed valuation reports. Valuation is a legal requirement under Regulation 27 of IBBI, CIRP, regulations. 2 registered valuers must be appointed to ensure objectivity and accuracy. Fair value and liquidation value serve distinct purposes in the resolution process and are used for bids, plans, and decisions. Understanding the difference between fair value and liquidation value is crucial. Fair value represents the estimated realizable value between willing parties, considering future earnings and market conditions. Liquidation value focuses on immediate asset disposal, representing the worst-case scenario for creditors and typically resulting in lower recovery. Context drives the application of valuation principles. Fair value serves as a benchmark for resolution plans, while liquidation value acts as a worst-case fallback. Negotiation and Committee of Creditors, COC, decisions are informed by these values, assessing viability and comparing bids. The appointment of valuers is made by the Interim Resolution Professional, IRP, who selects registered and independent valuers within 7 days of commencement. This ensures timely and qualified valuation assessments. Key elements to include in valuation reports are the identity and credentials of the valuer, date of valuation and commencement, scope, methodology, and assumptions. Fair and liquidation values must be supported by data, and a summary with disclaimers is essential for legal compliance. Valuation approaches are data-driven but contextual. The income approach uses discounted cash flow for businesses with potential future cash flows, while the market approach identifies similar transactions. The cost-NAV approach assesses asset replacement costs and applies to distress decisions. Familiarize yourself with key sections and rules, such as Section 36(2), defining the liquidation estate, Section 35 of IBBI specifying valuation rules during liquidation, Section 27 of CIRP detailing appointment processes, and Section 247 of Companies Act outlining conditions for registered valuers. Valuers face ground-level realities such as lack of data access, disputed asset ownership, legal encumbrances, time pressure, and stakeholder conflicts. These challenges can hamper accurate valuation and create pressure on valuers. Numbers play a significant role in influencing decisions. Estimating recovery rates helps creditors understand potential returns, while negotiating with bidders provides a baseline for discussions. Forming bid benchmarks and enabling COC to vote objectively are crucial for setting acceptable values. Learning from the field involves fleet valuation, brand value assessment, and understanding valuation impact. Valuers conducted detailed assessments of aircraft assets, considering age, condition, and market demand. Intangible assets like brand name and customer loyalty were separately valued, influencing Coke's decision to accept resolution plans with a haircut. Professionalism under pressure requires valuers to stay independent, disclose conflicts, use best judgment, and maintain records. Valuers must apply their expertise even with limited information and document assumptions and methodologies used during valuations. Valuers face high stakes and real accountability, with potential suspension, monetary penalties, deregistration, and legal proceedings for serious violations. Avoiding bias or pressure from RP/COC is crucial to maintain integrity in the valuation process. Familiarize yourself with must-know legal terms such as SERP process flowchart, IRP and RP professionals in meetings, committee of creditors in boardrooms, and fair value versus liquidation value comparison charts. Understanding these concepts is essential for effective insolvency resolution. Congratulations on completing Module 11, Valuation under IBC. You've mastered a critical aspect of the Registered Valuer syllabus. Like the video and share it with your prep group to help others benefit from this educational content. Subscribe to Startup Anecdotes for more insights, and stay tuned for Module 12, Valuation of Intangibles.